Do you?
Agree.
At English
Must.
B.
The first
Language of a child.
Yes, in my own opinion, I agree because if the first language of the child is English, then he or she can talk to any foreigners, almost anyone in the world, because English is the universal language.
Yes, because English language is beneficial and very important, especially for entrepreneurs and corporate businesses, as English is the first language of business. However, a child's language for its mother tongue is important for the preservation of our culture. For me, a child's subconscious language is their own language is vital to live on their own identity.
Well, I think that I do not agree that English should be the first language because nowadays children with multilingual languages should be taught that whatever they speak at home should be the mother tongue or the main language. Like in the Philippines, it should be the Filipino or the Tagalog language. We need to teach our children that Tagalog is the first language or the mother tongue, and the other language would be only the secondary language. And they need also to be aware that language is not just a linguistic tool. It should be their identity. So that's my answer to the question if I agree to have or to be the English to be the major language or the first thing that we need to teach our children. It should be the mother language or what we call Tagalog when it comes to the Philippines. That's all.
The Filipino language also reflects his identity and nationality, and if the next generation will stop using this, our language and culture will lose its purpose.
It depends on how you're teaching your child. If you're teaching your child in English language, it will be his or her language.
Yes, I agree with the idea of English being the first language of a child because it will have many benefits in the long run when it comes to communicating with people in foreign countries such as Japan or China or even in our country. If you don't know Filipino, you will only need a couple of basic English phrases like introductions or greetings. We don't need to be that fluent in English, you just need a couple of English phrases and people will understand you. Most people will. I know that English is difficult, so learning it at a young age will be probably better.
Yes, because when a child grow up, if you look a job and go to abroad, you and the one hiring you will understand each other because English is the international language. As therefore, the child really need to learn English.
Here in the Philippines, I don't agree that English is the first language of the child. Because in the Philippines, Filipino is the national language. Thank you.
Dito sa Pilipinas, hindi. Dapat Filipino kasi Filipino tayo. Now, yung English, secondary lang para sa academic purposes. Yun. Thank you.
No. Why? Because the child must learn the best language of its own country. Because if he is fluent in English language, how can others will understand it?
It actually depends on what the parents want for their child, but in my opinion, English as the child's first language may actually benefit him or her since it is what is widely and mostly used to communicate, making it almost the universal language for all. As the child grows up, they can introduce their native language, and I guess it will be easier for the child to pick it up since it is what is used by his surroundings to converse rather than doing the vice versa, and learning the second language at school where the child will be assessed graded based on how well they speak instead of communicating with them naturally and with no added pressure. Making English as the child's first language may also add up to the child's confidence since it will just come natural to the child. The native language, on the other hand, since if used by the parents or other family members at home, can be learned by the child naturally and at ease. There are also a lot of studies that also suggest a lot of benefits for raising a multilingual child. Parents may refer to those for them to decide what's best for the child.
Yes, I agree that English should be the first language of a child because I noticed that when a child learns to speak in English at their early age, they can speak in English fluently. Although we are Filipino, we have to speak our universal language, which is English.
Yes, I agree. English must be the first language of a child. We must train our children to speak English at their early age so that they can easily communicate to others, especially when they go to the place wherein English language is required.
For me, it's a no, because you must know the mother tongue first before anything else.